Greetings again, fellow weebs and otakus, to another manga video. And in this video I do want to cover single volume edition manga. That's going to be my main focus, something that's just feel good, kick back, relax. Only one volume, so you don't have to collect a bunch of volumes. It's just one single volume, and that's how we love it on this channel. We love having short manga series. So without further ado, let's hop straight into this list. So the first manga that we have on the list is Maiden Railways. Now this is a manga that I wanted to bring up in some of my past videos, actually, when I made some recommendations on slice of life manga, and I feel like I may have actually kind of brought it up briefly. But either way, if I did or didn't, I still recommend it. It's a nice single volume slice of life. It's more centered around short stories, so if you guys like having a variety of different short stories in one manga volume, this is going to be straight up your alley. Now do take note that all of these stories have a running theme where they all center around or take place at a train station, or they have to do with trains in some way. So if you guys don't like trains, don't pick it up. I'm just kidding. I mean, it honestly sounds like it might get repetitive, trains and like in every single story, but they do keep it fresh in a lot of the stories. It's very interesting how the author tries to keep it new, tries to keep each individual story unique from the last. This manga rests at about 200 pages, 218 pages to be exact. The author for this manga is Asumiku Nakamura. Now, if you guys may have heard her name before, she has many other manga that she has published if you look up her name, and again, I do recommend checking her other series out that she has published. Moving on to the second entry in the list, and that is Home Office Romance. Now, you guys can already see where this is going. This is going to be a romance manga, of course. Now, this one kind of piqued my interest because it might be somewhat of a relatable story to some people, because the story actually revolves around a lockdown happening. A lot of us are familiar with lockdowns now, but yeah, that's basically what the story revolves around, and some romance happens during this lockdown. Very sweet kind of romance, chill read. So if you guys are into I guess more cutesy romance, I do recommend picking this up once again. So moving on to the third entry in the list, and that is Town of Evening Calm, Country of Cherry Blossoms. I know that's a kind of strange name and it's a very lengthy name. This manga kind of intrigued me because it sort of reminded me of another manga which you guys might be familiar with as well, called Yokohama Kadaishi Kiko. This is basically the same vibes as that. In a sense, it kind of talks about war and the aftermath of war. Specifically, this actually refers to real life events that happened, in Japan, as we all know, the bombings and the aftermath of that. So it's kind of a heartfelt read. It might be more emotional for some people. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that it's not going for the emotional aspect of the war, the bombings, and the things that happen. So it's not going to be something that is based on the horrors of war. It's more like the aftermath and how it affects people. But again, this is more of a bittersweet read and something that a lot of people might enjoy. I was gonna say it's similar to Grave of the Fireflies, but that's not a really good example, because we know how Grave of the Fireflies is, and that stuff hits you in the feels. This is not so much that. I mean, you guys can just see from the cover, this is not something that's overly dark, it looks more lighthearted. The colors, the characters pop. So the fourth entry on the list, we got See You Tomorrow at the Food Court. Now, by the title itself, you guys can see this is going to be, something that's more like high school, chill kind of read, and that's basically what it is. Basically, two girls that meet up at the food court and they talk about various things, kind of exploring and finding out about each other as their friendship kind of blossoms. Again, there's not much to say here, guys. It's a chill read. Two girls just chilling, friends, becoming best friends, accompanied with some, cutesy artwork and illustrations. This is literally the standard slice of life. When you think of slice of life, anime or manga, you immediately think of, friends in a high school, like Japan vibes, the chilling in high school, shenanigans, talking about things, with cutesy artwork. This has all of that. So if you're into that kind of stuff and you like, that high school feel, it's definitely something you want to pick up. Now, the last entry on the list, the fifth one, but definitely not the least, is our dining table. It is a BL manga. I do want to put that out there. So if you guys aren't into that kind of stuff, I totally get it. But I do think you guys should give this manga benefit of the doubt, because it doesn't really like focus on the BL part of it too much. More than anything, it's kind of like a bittersweet story, like kind of a cute story. A similar story that I can, compare it to is I Hear the Sunspot. That's also another one, which I actually enjoyed a lot. If you were reading it, you wouldn't even notice that this is a BL manga. It doesn't really center or focus on those aspects. So I don't want you guys to get, immediately turned off and be like, oh, this is not something, this is definitely not, something I'm into. Now the story revolves around a salaryman who doesn't really like being around other people, or like eating around other people is a better way to put it. I know that's a kind of weird premise, but he ends up meeting two other brothers that are pretty vast, they have a huge age gap, and he gets to know them and they want to learn how to cook, and he starts teaching them, how to cook, and they kind of get closer like that. So there you guys have it. That's my, I was gonna say top 5 list, but this isn't a list in any particular order. I'm not really ranking any of these manga. These are just 5, chill manga, single volume manga that I found. Something that you can just kind of like kick back and read, like one of these days, like when you guys are chilling. I mean, summer's kind of over, so there's not much to do outside anymore, guys. So I know, the rainy weather's coming. Just chill inside, grab a book to read, get some hot chocolate. Those are the vibes that are gonna happen, in October. So I'm just getting you guys prepared for that, But yeah, thanks again for tuning in for this video, guys. Just a quick video I wanted to make recommending some single volume manga series that I came across pretty recently. But yeah, I will see you all in the next video. Thanks again for tuning in. And this is your host, Rich Taku, and I am signing off.